Doors, I'm a fool for your love.
Hey everybody, it's Zach aka Zach's Reviews. We are backing in another video, and guys, today's episode of Superman and Lois was episode 13 called Failsafe. Guys, this was another great episode. I always love watching this show. It's always, it's always new, it's always fresh. I love the way the show looks. I love that soundtrack. That soundtrack is so good. The title card is so good. Everything about this series is just phenomenal. And I can't believe that we only have 2 episodes left of this season of season 1, and I'm sad to see it end, but I'm so excited to see where the season's going to leave off and then where we're going to pick up in season 2. So guys, going into this episode, there's a lot going on. And my favorite part of this episode has to be where, Superman, John are like, they get an alert from I always forget his name. I don't know why. I always forget his name. I don't know why, but from Sam. They get pretty much the alarm from Sam saying, Leslie is coming to break out, Tal Row, and pretty much he ends up bolting, and then, John's like, I guess, boot up the suit, and pretty much there's a scene where like she's about to like enter the building, and they're counting down how like quick she's almost there, and we see Superman flying and stuff, and he ends up like getting her before impact, and that fight sequence was sick. The flying was sick. I love how they don't even like. I love the attention to detail on like the sound design of the sonic booms and everything, and the way he looks when he's flying, and the way the suit looks. And that was just a sick scene. And I love when he does get her on the ground. She ends up punching him and stuff. John ends up landing and he's about to shoot her, and he ends up getting her with like it looks like the red kryptonite. And I love it because Clark's like, good shot, and he's like, and they like fist bump. He's like, thanks, and they fist bump. That's sick. I love that. I love how they're working together. I love how he finally understands when Lois told him why he would never turn, why Superman would never turn, and why this Superman is different than his world Superman, is because of him being raised on Earth by Jonathan and Martha Kent, and him being, and him just learning the way of, surrounded by, the people of Earth, and that's how he became who he is. That's what it's his humanity that he got from Jonathan and Martha Kent, as because they raised him. And I love that. I love how like he understands that. He knows that this Superman cares so much and is willing to literally, from what we know about like from the last episode, he was willing to pretty much risk his life so he couldn't hurt anybody. And I love that. It shows that he cares that much, that he doesn't want to hurt anybody. He wants to keep Earth safe. He wants to keep the people safe, and I love that. And but I also love is that he's tasted the power of him not holding back, and we already know how he feels about that because we've heard it earlier in the episodes of this season when he was talking to Jordan about everything that was going on, saying you think that I'm not like, you think that I don't know how it feels to like like not cross the line. Like I come to terms with that every day. I have to make sure that people don't lose my trust. I literally, every time I put on this suit, I have to go out there and keep earning their trust. And I just love that. And like I just have to keep my powers in check. He's like, throughout my life, I got learned to control my powers to an extent so I don't hurt anybody. But but I had a taste of me not having any control and me almost hurting John. Like, and I love how they have that conversation, that, between, Clark has a conversation with Lois, and Lois is angry that, he told Sam to keep that, precaution intact of, with all the kryptonite, bullets, swords, everything, just in case the day comes where Superman can't be contained, because those are the only things that people can defend themselves with to take Superman out, because literally Superman is invincible but when it comes to kryptonite, that's the only thing that can take him down, and he wants the people to have the will to take him down if necessary. So that just shows how good the character is of Superman, and like and just Clark in general, and like how they are one. But of course, I just love that. It just shows how cool that character is because he and it shows how good he is because he cares that people have the ability to take him out if they need to. Because he felt like he almost wasn't able, to control himself because of, Zod and everything, and because of the plan of Tal Row. But there's a bigger plan here, as we can see, because, we saw a lot of, the childhood of Tao with his father, and like their big major plan. And we all kind of knew when Tao by the end of the last episode, when he like destroyed the pod that has all the souls in it, I kind of figured maybe is his dad was that the final thing, like his dad taking over him to the next step of his plan. Like if he was too weak enough to follow through with the plan, he would take over Tao's body, because it looks like by the end of this he says, goodbye, father. Meaning, does that mean his father's taking over him? But also I love it because Tao always thought there was only one side of what his dad was telling him, saying this is the only way to save our family and our legacy of Krypton. But he finds out that he had a brother here, and that he finds out there's a different way of taking this to succeed with our plan. There's a smarter and better way. You made it sound like I had to do all this, but my brother showed me that there's a different path I could take. And it's so sad because it's like, what if Tao was able to experience what Clark experienced? They could have been, they could have been the dynamic duo. He could have really, felt the humanity that Clark feels for, Earth. So it's a really cool perspective saying, without Clark landing, in Smallville and being raised by Jonathan and Martha Kent, we probably would have had a Tao Rose situation if you would have, had the father of, of Tao Rose's father, if we would have had him as a father figure, and, and if we would have found nobody when he landed on Earth, and that's all he had was knowing about Krypton and that father figure, and pretty much him, giving those bad ideas of this is the only way to save our kind, and all that, just those harsh ideas. And it's just so clever to see the different perspectives that, if Tao would have been raised like this, with, Clark the same way, things would have been different. Or he got the bad end of the stick and Clark got the good end of the stick, landing in, Smallville and being raised by Jonathan and Martha Kent. And he got the bad end by him having a terrible experience, and also the only father he knew was a father that pretty much, was full of hate, and told him there's only one way to save Krypton. And I love that. I love that so much. They're so clever in the writer's room about how they're doing the season, how they're doing the Superman character and Lois. Tyler and Elizabeth do amazing jobs playing these characters. I really love it. They are by far my favorite, versions of Superman and Lois. Literally, they do such a great job. I love this show, and I'm just excited to see where this is going to end, because we see Tao escape in the end, and he has glowing blue eyes, and he's sucking the sun up. And I told my sister, I'm like, without the sun, Superman won't have his abilities. What does that mean? Was that his idea from the entire time? Is to take his abilities? That's the only way to really take them. I don't know. What's the bigger agenda here? Why is he sucking the sun? I don't know. Why is he absorbing the sun? What's the bigger picture? If you guys know this, if it's if it's in the comic lore, let me know and explain it a little bit more. And if you don't understand, if you don't understand what's really going on either, like I don't really, let's talk about it, because I really want to know what's going on, because it's getting really good. And I'm just excited, because we know that's one possibility of him. If he destroys the sun, he won't have his abilities anymore. And what will that mean? What is Tao's father's agenda? What is his major plan? Because it looks like that is the failsafe. If he failed Tao, then his father would take over from there. And I think the first the part of that plan was, getting all the Kryptonian souls within him, and then giving his soul to his father to take over, so he could, execute the plan the way he wanted it to, I guess. So that's going to be very interesting, along with seeing, Sarah and, and Lana and, Kyle, how they're trying to, pretty much how, Kyle's trying to earn back, the town's trust, and so is Lana. And they're really just trying to earn back the town's trust after, Kyle pretty much, pushing for, Edge to come into Smallville and give jobs to everybody and this and that. But he had a bigger agenda, and pretty much everybody blames, Kyle and Lana for everything. And, Sarah knows what's going on. Of course, she knows what's going on. But also, this was a good episode that she finally got to act like a kid, and got to, leave all of that drama outside of things and spend time with Jordan. Because that was a cool sequence to see them spend time with one another. Because we haven't really seen the kids just have time to be kids and really build up their high school life. And I'm really excited we get to see that. And so in these episodes, I'm really excited they're really building that up. And also seeing, and they're skipping school because they don't want to go to an assembly to explain what's going on. They just want to have a little bit of normal, like Sarah does. So Jordan goes with her, and Jonathan ends up skipping school to talk to, to talk to his new crush. And, we got some moments with that, but that didn't work out because she just wanted to get answers because everybody found out around town that Sam, the head of the DOD is their uncle or whatever, or like their grandfather or something like that. So I really appreciated this episode of the storytelling, of also trying to keep us on our toes, trying to get us to the bigger picture behind like the way they're trying to end the season. But just from the sneak peeks, I'm really excited. I'm stoked. I cannot wait for the next 2 episodes. Sadly enough, we don't get the next 2 episodes, I think, until August, which is a bummer. But it's going to be worth the wait, guys. It's going to be a hell of a season finale. And I'm just super, super grateful about of the show being made, and I'm super grateful for all you guys sticking around, watching my videos, joining the family here on this channel. We are literally almost to 400 subs, so please, yet again, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, put on those notifications, like this video. I would love to have you guys here, part of this family. We're growing each and every day, and I just can't wait to hear what you guys thought about this episode, because the flying in this episode and that score when Clark is talking to Lois and they're sitting at that table and we hear that music, it builds up so freaking good. A score can do a lot, guys. In a movie, a show, it builds up the scene, it builds up the emotion, and that's what I love about scores and soundtracks, is it builds up a great scene. And that's such a great scene that will be remembered, that moment where he's saying, I like the feeling of that power, and I'm afraid that I like that, I'm afraid that it's true, but I do, I have to hold back my power so I don't hurt anybody. But it's just so, it was, I hate to admit, but it was nice to have that feeling, and I'm scared that I'm gonna lose my control and want to not be controlled anymore. And that's why that the kryptonite needs to be put in place if this happens again and I can't be stopped. And I love how they put John, he trusts John enough, John Henry, to be in charge of that task force just in case he goes bad and there's no stopping him, which I do love. They built that trust, and he trusts Clark now, and they're like have the buddy and they just talk like they're best friends. I love that. It's cool. And I just love that. It's like they're building a bond, and he's learning to live in Smallville because I guess he thinks he can't get back, but I'm wondering if by the end of the season, maybe will he go back to his time? I don't know. But it's going to be very interesting to see where, how they end the series and how they go on to season 2. But without further ado, I'm going to end this video here. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day. I'll see you guys sometime in August. Peace.